My pranams to all Atma Jyotis. We'll continue with the contemplation on teaching of Brahma Sutra today. Let us start with the prayer. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tayo Tato Jayam Dhire Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. We started with the chapter 3. Chapter 3 has 4 padas, 4 sections. Chapter 3 is about spiritual practice. The first section is about the journey of a soul after death. In this case, the journey of an ignorant person. In the 4th chapter, we are discussing journey of a upasaka or a gnani. In section 2, pada 2, the deeper understanding of tattvasi. You are that, Atma Dana. Section 3 and 4 is more about clarification of upasana or meditation practices which are required to purify ourselves. So there are 3 types of jiva. Adnani, ignorant person, goes through cycle of birth and death. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. A upasaka will, after birth, is born in his loka of his choice, Ishtadeva loka. Then he'll get gnana, then he'll get mukti. This is called krama mukti. A gnani will get a jivan mukti. While he is alive, he'll get a brahma gnana, then get liberation. So that's what you've heard. So when a ignorant person, adnani, dies, he leaves body through one of the nadis. There are 72,000 channels of energy. He leaves through body to take again and again birth. So the discussion is what will happen to adnani at the time of death. So the Purva Pakshi is saying the gross body is left by adnani because we see the dead body is there wherever a person dies. So subtle body has moved away. So Purva Pakshi is saying subtle body has moved away. There is no gross body for the jiva after it dies. We have 3 bodies: gross body, subtle body, and causal body, Karana Sharira. So the Upasaka, the Purva Pakshi says the gross body is left where the person has died. The gross body will be cremated. He will move his subtle body and causal body to next birth. So in the last section, we discussed after death. Last sutra we discussed after death. A Panchagni Vidya states that the jiva goes through 5 processes. What are those 5 processes? We can listen to last sutra. Okay. So he'll go through heaven, cloud, earth, male body, and female body to be finally born in the womb of the mother. So that's what you've heard. So Upanishad says the jiva does not travel subtle body. Jiva is packaged in another body, gross body. But gross body is very subtle. It requires a packaging. It's not that after you drop in the gross body, immediately new body is created for the jiva to travel. See how fine the process of the universe are. So that's what is told in the earlier sutra. And the subtle body, that subtle gross body is made up of water, up. So finally, when it reaches the mother's womb, it will say gross body, which is made of gross elements, Panchabhutas. So is the question clear? The question which Purva Pakshi is asking is the jiva travels in a subtle body and causal body. It has no gross body. The gross body is created when you reach the destination. The answer is no. The jiva is packaged in a very subtle gross body suitable for different lokas. This subtle gross body has all the blueprint which is required to fulfill the karma of the jiva, where it's born. That means whatever is future is determined now. What kind of body has to get, which family has to get, all information is already encoded in their body. And when that body is made up of 5 elements, but subtle 5 elements. So when the jiva goes to the other body, that creates a gross 5 elements and then is born. This is the sutra. So this is called Tadantara Pratipatyadikaranam. The soul jiva takes a subtle part of the elements during transmigration after death. So let us go to next sutra. Om Athato Brahma Jitnasa Om Trayatmakattastu Boyastvat Om. Sutra 293. So the Purva Pakshi says, water alone is mentioned as subtle body. Subtle body gets the body of water before traveling. It is not saying it's a body of 5 elements. So that's why the jiva travels in the causal and subtle body. It does not travel in the gross body. This is the opinion of Purva Pakshi. Is the question clear? So the question is, the jiva has a causal body, a subtle body, gross body. Gross body is dropped. After death, gross body is dropped, gone. The subtle body and causal body will travel to next loka, is what Purva Pakshi is saying. Then we gave a story of Chandogya Upanishad, Panchagni Vidya story we gave, and we said he'll go through 5 fires or 5 processes by which a body is created at the time of birth in the mother's womb. But the blueprint of the body is already given in the beginning in the form of water, apatatva. So jiva does not travel in subtle body, causal body and subtle body. Jiva travels in subtle body, causal body, and a subtle gross body. This was what is told earlier. Right? Now, the Purva Pakshi comes back and says, Upanishad is telling only body made of water. It doesn't tell body made of 5 elements. Right? So since Upanishad tells only water as water, a body made of water, okay, how can he, the jiva does not have a gross body. Again, it was a question from Purva Pakshi. A cross question from the Purva Pakshi. What is that? The jiva cannot travel, does not travel in the gross body. It travels, it has not got a gross body because it's given water. Water is the body made of water is given. It doesn't say body made of 5 elements is given. Is the objection of Purva Pakshi clear? See, all these arguments, from all these arguments, what you are understanding is the universe has very, very well defined, precise processes. Such well-tuned and fine-tuned processes. It's not an accident, something is born, somebody grows, somebody dies. It's a complete, very fine, very robust system. Even before you are born, your blueprint for the body is given exactly when you leave the gross body, so that you will go to next body. Okay, so we have to. This is told to us to tell the power and glory of Ishvara. Everything in the universe working perfectly. So the Purva Pakshi says, Upanishads are telling about the body made up of water. How can you convert a body made of water into 5 elements? Water is only 1 element. There are 5 elements. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi. Space, wind, fire, water. So water is only one element. Using one element, do you think you can make all the 5 elements? Not possible. So the final body of the living being in the mother's womb is called Purusha, the gross body. Okay, gross body is 5 elements. But when you say you started with a water element, so that's why I'll say again, maintain that the jiva travels without a gross body, it travels on the subtle body, causal body. This is the objection which is by Purva Pakshi. So the Siddhanti says the water is mentioned because water is a predominant element in the human body. Your body is made of 5 elements. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi. The space, the wind, fire, water, and earth element. The body, gross body is earth element. Our blood in our body is water element. 70% of our body comes from water. It's a predominant thing in our body. Water is the main thing in our body. So the water is mentioned because the water is the main element in the body. Out of 5 elements, water is made a main element. It's true that Chandogya Upanishad doesn't speak of 5 elements. But body itself is made up of 3 elements. According to what? According to Ayurveda. Our body is made up of 3 elements as per Ayurveda. What are the 3 elements? Agni, Vayu, Prithvi. Sorry, what is it? Yeah. Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Vata means wind, Pitta means fire, Kapha means water. Okay, Vata, Pitta, Kapha is the 3 elements which Ayurveda speaks of. Vata, Pitta, Kapha means Vata is the wind, Pitta means fire, and Kapha means water. So your body is made up of these 3 elements. Now, is this 3 elements? As per Ayurveda, these 3 represent all the 5. Vata, Pitta, Kapha represent all the 5. The space, the wind, fire, water, and earth. Okay. So the reference in the Upanishad is given referring to water element because the water element is predominant element. And Upanishad speaks of 3 elements made of 3 elements. 3 elements are nothing but Agni, Vayu, Jala, which represent 5 elements. So that's why the jiva, at the time of death, when it drops the gross body, very subtle gross body is given. Very subtle gross body is given. Very fine subtle gross body is given. And the very fine gross body consists of all the 5 elements in the subtle form. Water is given as a pointer to that 5 element body. That means immediately after jiva dies, very fine, thin body is given, the new body. Is the understanding clear? So that's why, if you look at our Purana, okay, before that, I'll show you. The objection of the Purva Pakshi. Purva Pakshi is giving an objection. What is the objection? The subtle body goes with water, but water doesn't. There are 5 elements. Water is not 5 element. That's why the jiva goes without the gross body. Siddhanti says, and Purva Pakshi says, water cannot be converted into 5 elements. Siddhanti says, the final body of the Purusha consists of all the 5 elements. The blueprint of that, a subtle body, the blueprint is given in the beginning itself, which is called consider of water. And water represents all the 3 elements, Agni, Jala, Prithvi, as per Ayurveda. And these 3 elements represent all the 5 elements, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi. Why water is told? Because water is the predominant element of the body. So this we have seen. Water, life is born in water. Even scientists agree. The amoeba, algae, the fish was the first life formation in ocean. The life originated in ocean, which is nothing but water. Then these fish started traveling on the land. Then it became amphibians, like tortoise, crocodile, like that. Then the animal forms emerged. So what life in the earth started in water. Okay. So water is where the life starts. Without water, there is no life. So that is the reason Upanishads are speaking of as water body. Okay. In the mother's womb also, when the child is born, he is born in the waters of the womb. In our Puranas, the first avatara, incarnation, is Matsyavatara. The Lord appeared as fish. Okay, in a sense, Matsyavatara, Kurmavatara, Varahavatara is also a story of evolution. The life emerged in the ocean as fish, then Kurmavatara, amphibian, then Varahavatara, four-legged animals. Like that, life progressed. Now, what is the difference between avatar of the Lord and individual? The Lord avatar represents the totality, the cosmos. All living born beings is represented as the avatar of fish in water. Is the Vesti, Samashti, the totality. The totality manifestation in the earth is represented as fish, Matsya Avatara. And life is born in water. That's why Upanishads speak of water body for the jiva who is departing. That's why when you do Shraddha, when the person dies, Shraddha, we give water to the person. The water is the life. Water gives the life. So at the time of all our Shraddha, we give water as oblation. Okay. So when you offer the you do argya, right? In front of Surya, you take water and offer to Surya, sun, argya. So when you offer argya to sun, we are saying, oh sun, you are the one who give prana. And the prana appeared in water. Water is life. I'm offering, I'm surrendering my life energy to you. I am doing service for you. That is the meaning of offering oblation. Argya, giving a thanks. So you gave me life through water. I'm offering water in gratitude to you. That's called argya. Argya is not just offering water to sun. Why sun needs water? The energy, pranic energy from sun, interact with the water to create a life force. And that life force is what we became human beings and animals. The water element in my mother's womb became me. So water is life. That's why Matsyavatara. That's why we do offer water to sun as oblation. That's why for a dead person, we give water as tarpana. So the Purva Pakshi is now coming back with another question. No, there's another logic is given for the Purva Pakshi. Okay. The logic given by to the Purva Pakshi, again, the Siddhanta gives one more logic why water is mentioned. Om Prana Gatecha Om. Sutra 293. So this logical answer is given. Earlier, in what we call as in Brahmasutra, sometimes answer is given based on the Shruti, scriptures. Sometimes the answer is given by Smriti. Sometimes logical answer also is given. This Yukti Pramana. Shruti Pramana, Smriti Pramana, Yukti Pramana. Yukti Pramana is the sense pranas go with the soul. That's why elements also go with the soul. 5 elements also go with the soul. It doesn't go just like that. That is the answer. That is the meaning of that. We'll understand. So now, Yukti Pramana is given. Logical answer is given. What is the logical answer? Not logical answer is the subtle body. The Purva Pakshi is saying subtle body is going without a gross body. Water element doesn't add up to the full 5 elements. That's what is the objection. So then in Upanishad it's already said that Jiva goes with the 5 pranas. Many Upanishads say Allah, the Jiva subtle body goes with the pranas. It is said already in many Upanishads. Okay. But your living experience that when you live, okay, the pranas are there in the body. The pranas and body go together. Pranas are packaged in the body, gross body. Okay. So you move around because pranas are packaged in the gross body. You don't have a situation, you don't have any experience where body is not there, but prana is there. The gross body is not there, the prana is there, the situation is not there. So logically, our own experience, prana has to be packaged in a gross body before it can move. Packaged in a body before it can move. See, the 5 elements, the 5 bodies are there, right? Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, anandamaya kosha. 5 koshas, layers are there. Annamaya kosha is the grossest body. While we are alive, everything pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha is packaged in the gross body. So that's how we move around. So now outer layer is removed. Annamaya kosha is removed. Body becomes dead. Do you think these pranamaya kosha inner 4 layers can travel elsewhere just like that? That's the question. So the Purva Pakshi says logically, the Siddhanta says logically it's not possible. The 4 layers inside requires a packaging layer to go. The packaging layer is subtle gross body which is given in the form of water. A container is required. That is based on our current experience of body. If we have experience of body, walking around the body with prana controlling the body. But we don't never have experience of prana body, prana without the body. We don't have experience. So the pranas are contained in a body is our living experience. After death also, I need a container for the prana. That is a subtle container or subtle gross body is there. This is what Siddhanta is saying. It's a logical answer given. So for the question of the Purva Pakshi, subtle body travels, we have agreed. And subtle body always travels with prana also, we have agreed because that's based on other Upanishad teachings. So our living experiences, when we are living, when we are alive, prana goes with a body, gross body, annamaya kosha as a container. It's like if I want to take water, you need a glass, otherwise water cannot move. So if prana is there without a gross body, the prana will leak into the universe and will go. The subtle body will not be there. You need a container. That container is a subtle gross body. That's why Jiva travels with the subtle gross body is a logical answer given. Clear? So now, the Purva Pakshi comes with another objection. Om Agni Adi Gatihi Shrutehe Iti Chet Na Bhaktatvat. So Purva Pakshi says, the Upanishads are saying the organs of the subtle body merge with the devatas, Agni it is. Devatas like Agni and all. So you're saying that the Upanishads say the prana and organs merge with the Agni, fire. So in that sense, prana requires a container of subtle body is not valid. That's the objection. So Upanishads, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Vak, speech, merges with the Devata of Agni, Agdevata. Speech merges with the fire, Devata, Agni. So now here we have two types of organs. Subtle organs are called Indriya and gross organs are called Golaka. Right? Actually, our eyes don't see. Through the eyes, the sense organ called Indriya sees. The sense organs are in the subtle body. The Jiva has Indriyas. 5 Indriyas are in the Jiva. Eyes, ears, nose, throat, tongue, skin is there in the Jiva, not in the gross body. Gross body is just a machine, instrument. So that instrument is called Golaka. Understand? Golaka means a place where subtle body is housed, but that itself is not seer. So when I see, my eyes are seeing, it's not eyes are seeing, the Indriya, the sense organ in the subtle body is seeing through the eyes. So what happens at the death? At the time of death, the person is not able to speak. The tongue fails. He is not able to speak, but then he'll try to indicate something through his fingers. When the tongue fails, it's not the physical tongue which fails. Physical tongue is Golaka, instrument. It is subtle tongue called Indriya of the tongue, Vak Indriya, has failed. It's obvious. He is not able to speak. That means Vak Indriya has failed. Now, logically conclude that Vak Indriya has gone. Now, where Vak Indriya has gone? Vak Indriya has gone into Vak, the Devata of speech, which is Agni. Agni is the Devata of speech, the fire, Agni Devata. So Vak Indriya has merged with the Agni Devata. That's why Vak is not able to, there's no longer speech is possible. The Indriyas, real Indriya is not able to operate the physical Indriya, physical organ. So you can imagine, I'm sitting in a car and driving. Okay, car is moving. The car is moving because of the driver sitting inside the car. Car itself has no ability. Similarly, our gross body is like a car, vehicle. The subtle body is the driver. The subtle body is the one who sees to the eyes, hears to the ears, talks to the tongue. This is called Indriya. Indriya is the real sense organ. The eyes, ears are nothing but instruments. So now, the answer given is, the Purva Pakshi says, Vak Indriya merges in Vak Devata. Vak Indriya merges in Vak Devata. So that's why the subtle body has no Indriya at all. No sense organs at all. The sense organs do not accompany the soul. Okay. Then where is the question of a packaging of the soul, Jiva? So the answer given by Purva Pakshi is, we have to refer to another sutra of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. When Jiva departs, when Jiva leaves the body, the prana follows. It takes the prana, the life force. When the life force follows, all subtle Indriya sense organs follow the life force. So jiva moves, along with the prana moves, along with that sense organs, subtle sense organs move. So when the merger, when the subtle prana merges with the subtle organs, prana merges with Agni Devata, prana along with subtle organ merges with Agni Devata. Thus prana is there, subtle organs are there, they are the Agni Devata. That is what is said. Okay. So in Bhagavad Gita, it says, body along with the mind travel after death. What body? Subtle body. To acquire a new body in the next Janma. So that means there is a subtle gross body which accompanies the jiva as per the Bhagavad Gita. Because body is already lying here, dead. So what body is speaking of? There must be a subtle gross body which accompanies the jiva. Okay. So that is the logic also given based on the Bhagavad Gita 15.7. Now, how to make out the sentence it is told in the Upanishad? Two sentences are contradictory. So the guideline is, when two contradictory statements are there in Upanishad, we have to take one statement as figurative and one statement as actual. Figurative means indicative, and one statement is actual. So how do we determine which is figurative, which is actual? So if you take that sense organs and prana merge in the Agni Devata, the jiva has no sense organs and prana. Sense organs and prana have gone. So if sense organs and prana have gone, the jiva is not there. Jiva is because it is there, sense organs and prana is there. Huh? No, the water we have come now. Water again we have come forward. So jiva is jiva, jivatva of jiva, because sense organs and prana is there, then it's called jivatva. Now, jiva is not jiva, sense organs and prana are not there, they have merged with the fire, Agni Devata. So then jiva, fire and sense organs merging with the fire should be taken as figurative, not literal. What should be taken as literal? The jiva along with the mind travel after death to a new body. This comes in Bhagavad Gita sloka, Mamai Mamsi Sambhuta, Bhagavad Gita 15.7. So based on that, what we have discussed, what we have to understand, jiva has sense organs and prana. Along with that, it enters into Agni Devata. So that means subtle body is intact. Because subtle body is intact, the subtle body requires a packaging called gross subtle body. So jiva acquires a gross subtle body because of this logic. So the question is, speech or vocal organ, indriya of a dying man, is merged in fire. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 3.2.13. So Purva Pakshi is saying, since organs are merged in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the organs do not accompany the soul. If organs do not accompany soul, prana is also not accompanying soul. If prana and organs are not accompanying soul, you don't need a packaging material. Already we told the packaging material is required for in the last sutra. So there's no packaging material required. That's why soul only travels. That's what he's saying. Okay. Purva Pakshi says sense organs do not travel and no body is required. So above statement is given in the secondary sense, not in primary sense. Upanishad says, when soul departs, the prana follows. When the prana departs, all organs follow. That means prana and organs are following. It's not that soul is not going without prana and organs. This is about Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. The body along with the mind travel to acquire a new body in the next janma. Mamai Vamsa Sambhuta. Bhagavad Gita 5:15.7. That means Jiva travels with the body. Now, which body? The gross body is dead. So there must be a packaging of the body. It's called subtle gross body, which is made up of water. That's what Ashwadi Upanishad. That's the conclusion. Then there's a contradiction between the two statements of Upanishad. So one of the statements should be taken as figurative. Why it should be taken as figurative? Jiva enjoys jivahood only if there is sense organs and prana. If sense organs and prana are removed and merged with fire, then jiva is not jiva. So what is being told is jiva along with sense organ and prana merges with the Agni Devata for traveling forward. That means it enters into first Agni. There are Pancha Agni, first Agni it enters. First process. That's called going to Sarga. Before that, a subtle gross body is given. This is the logic which is told. There are some more questions on this Adhikarana. We'll take up with the next sutra, next class. Let us sit silently for some time. Become aware of changes in the body and mind. Become aware that I am the Sakshi, witness of changing body and mind. Sakshi is the unchanging reality. I am the Atma, pure awareness. Astatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamuduchyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Nan Nanembuddhi Nanalla Ideha Manabuddhi Nanalla Sachidanandatma Shivananani Shivoham 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 Atma Darshanam, Brahma Darshanam, Brahma Darshanam, Satya Darshanam. To know the self is to know God. To know God is to be God. To be God is to know the truth. Antarjyotihi, Bahirjyotihi, Pratyakjyotihi, Paratpara, Jyotireva Jyotihi, Swayam Jyotihi, Atma Jyotihi, Shivosmiham. I am the light of the self, awareness, Atma Jyoti. I am the light illuminating the entire world, Jagat Jyoti. I am the light beyond all lights, Paran Jyoti. I am the self-luminous light, Swayam Jyoti, light of love, compassion, and wisdom. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Gently rub both of your hands. Give one to the eyes. Slowly open your eyes. For all the Light of Self Foundation YouTube videos, you can go to the Light of Self channel, and also we can subscribe to Children's channel, I Lead Cultural Circle, YouTube or website. With that, we'll conclude today's sutras. Any questions? Anybody has any questions?
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
So body, sorry, soul or the prana goes along with the elements and the head. So merges with the fire and goes to the further next to take the next body. Right. But that all the five elements are manifested in the outer part of the world, that is Brahmanda, Bhuloka, whatever it is.
So you have to listen to the earlier sutras. That is the sutra. Have you listened to the earlier sutra of this chapter?
Last week I missed one. This one I want to
listen to that. That question is answered there.
Okay.
Right? So the question is that only. If all elements are available in the universe, why should you travel with the
elements? Element.
That travel without the element is not possible. That's what is the next sutra is. But first sutra will answer your question.
Okay, thank you. I will refer that.
Okay. So yes. No. Water involves all the five elements in the small form, sukshma form. Water consists in the small form. Anybody else any questions? See, all this is told. What is the purpose of knowing all this? So the universe is not accident. Our life and birth is not accident. It's a very, very there's very structure in this. There's nothing accident in the universe, and everything is precisely taken care of. The immediately your body dies, that body is removed, another subtle gross body is given so that you can travel. So much of very fine activities are happening in the universe, and these activities are happening because of the grace of Ishvara. So the greatness of Ishvara is told in the form of these teachings.
But knowing all these things through Brahma Sutra is very great.
Knowing?
So knowing all these things through Brahma Sutra, it's a great this one actually.
Okay, very good.